How's it going, everybody? This is Alex Caceres, and you're listening to Story of the Fight.
Whoa, welcome. Welcome,
Clearly,
everybody.
we don't have Rich.
Welcome, everybody, to Story of the Fight. We are back, Will.
We're back. It's been a while.
It has been a
Sunday
while.
off.
Yes, so for anybody that's first tuning in, my name is Romero. That's my boy, Will. And this
What
is
up?
Story of the Fight, where we talk everything combat sports. But yeah, we took last week off, huh?
Yeah,
For
you know, it's
Easters.
Easter, family days, you know.
Yeah. Did you do anything fun for Easters?
Went over to Katie's parents' house.
Okay.
It was her mom's birthday also.
Oh,
So,
snaps.
Yeah, hung out there in the backyard.
Two stones
some
with one bird,
brunch.
as they say.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, dude, that's the way to do it. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
what about
did
you?
an Easter egg hunt for the kids, but we did a
Hell
little bit
yeah.
different this year, because Lucy's 10, Dallas is
Mhm.
9 now, so the whole like Easter bunny thing, they don't believe in the Easter bunny anymore.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Spoiler alert. Any
be
5-year-olds
watching.
watching our show right now, sorry. No, but we did a Easter egg hunt in the dark. So we waited until the nighttime, hid eggs throughout the house, gave the kids some flashlights, and let them have
Nice.
at it, dude. It was a blast. They enjoyed
That's
it.
sick.
Then we
A
had
twist.
like sporting events for kids too. You know what I mean? It's always busy. But dude,
Mhm.
all in all, it was a nice weekend. It was a
Yeah,
nice
it was a
weekend.
good one. He is
But
risen,
it's
you know, all that.
all that stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
But we're back now to talk
Yeah.
fights. Right. So thank you, everybody, for listening. If this is your first time again catching us on YouTube, please make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you get notified whenever we go live or whenever we post anything different. And if you don't like seeing our faces, but you like listening to us talk about MMA and combat sports, then you can hit us up on Spotify, Breaker, Podcasts, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, pretty much anywhere podcasts are found, and social media, Will.
Yeah, we are at Story of the Fight on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Reddit. There's a Facebook group chat maybe, but we're everywhere. We're Story of the Fight everywhere.
And you know what? You know what's so cool? So also this week I'm on vacation, getting new floors installed. And we had this group of guys that came over here and had to move my my oven. No, we didn't watch the fights. From CC Carpet. Shout out to these guys, and they subscribed. Yeah, they're like, hey,
dude,
you do a podcast? And I was like, yeah, because they saw the stuff over here. And as we're walking out, I was like, hey, make sure you subscribe. And the guy like pops his head back over and he's like, already did. And he like, I was like, yeah. So shout out to those guys, man. They were awesome.
What's their business?
Well, it's CC Carpet is the name of the company, but they were out here. So shout out to them. Yeah, for
shout
sure.
out San.
One of the guys was actually one of the guys was like, dude, I used to fight back in the day. And I was like, no
hell
way. Yeah, I was like, what happened? He's like, I had kids. And I was like, oh, for real. That happens. That'll do it, man. Kids ruin everything. Just kidding. Again, any 5-year-old kids listening, Easter Bunny's real and you all are legit. But last night we had UFC fight night. Was it 52? UFC Vegas 52?
UFC Vegas 52.
Yes. Amanda Lemos versus Jessica Andrade.
Jessica Andrade.
Yes.
Her return back to the division, right?
Yes, back down to 115, where she held the title for a little bit, right? For like a night.
Yeah, she took it from Rose.
Yeah, she
dropped
held
Rose on her
like
head,
a night and then lost it.
Blasted by Zhang Weili.
Yes, but hey, man, this was a very interesting fight last night because Amanda Lemos is one of those like very, very talented prospects, and we always have that time where they hit a certain level. And you're like, okay, if they're able to get past this one person, this is it. This is the real deal, right? And for me, Jessica Andrade is one of those staples of women's MMA, 115, 125. But she's just one of those fighters that when somebody gets past Jessica Andrade, you're like, okay, here we go. It's off to the races.
Now it's off to the races. Yeah. And I kind of had like instead of off to the races, I had a little hold your horses because because I thought Lemos' last fight against Angela Hill, I feel like I remember thinking that Angela Hill won that fight.
Same.
And I was like, ooh, maybe it's not off to the races. And then they matched her up against Andrade, and I was like, this is dangerous.
Yeah. And quite honestly,
very dangerous.
I've thought that about Angela Hill's like last 5 fights. I feel like where I think she wins and she ends up like coming up on the losing end. But she rocked Angela Hill, man, with that
Oh,
front
she
kick.
totally did. Yeah, she
And
totally
she
did.
had her in a lot of trouble, but I still think Angela Hill won that fight. But either way, Amanda Lemos is a very, very talented prospect. She
Definitely.
was 11-1 going in. I don't remember
Mhm.
exactly how long her win streak was, but it's up there. Well, it was. I
Yeah.
should say. Was up there.
2019, 1, 2, 3,
To
4, 5 in a row.
5 in a row. 5 in a row.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
that puts you right
before
in the
that,
mix.
it looks like she lost to Leslie Smith.
Yeah, Leslie Smith.
Yeah. Okay. But Jessica Andrade
And that's
was
a bantamweight.
having a hard time closing the distance, man. Lemos
Mhm.
so long. She's an
Yeah.
excellent striker.
Mhm.
Excellent striker. And as you can see here in this picture that you put up, she was having a hard time finding that range, man.
Yeah, she was until Lemos kind of got a little careless with her striking,
Hmm.
just a little bit. And Andrade has such good. She kind of has that like Mike Tyson shuffle a little bit. You know the way she like enters and exits. She kind of like will hop to the side as she changes angles, and that kind of crossed up Lemos's hands. And once she crossed them up, she just snatched her.
Yeah.
I mean, there really wasn't much time on this fight, right? It was kind of just Lemos kind of standing and landing some good shots, like you said. But then, as soon as she crossed her up, I mean, she just snatched her.
Yep.
It was like,
And it's the experience. I feel
yeah,
like you saw the experience. And so if you're just like seeing the picture, you're like, these are two friends that haven't seen each other in a while.
yeah. And then the
A-
next picture,
And then there's this solid embrace, and look at Lemos so happy.
yeah,
And then she's like, oh no, she's gasping for air, and it's pure terror.
yeah, it's so
It's pure
brutal.
terror. But man, you see her making those little micro adjustments
To
where she
cinch it
just
up
kept on
more.
adjusting, on like right on her joint, and then moving
Mhm.
her arm over, and you could just see it get so tight.
Yeah, and she's kind of
Um,
shucking her shoulder to get
yep.
Lemos's arm up higher and press the shoulder against her neck too.
Pressing the shoulder up
Nasty.
against her neck. As she moved the hand over, you see her pushing the head over a little bit more, so that artery is
Mhm.
getting clogged up a little bit more. Dude, it was
Yeah.
just a thing of beauty.
Yeah, it
And
was really good.
Jessica Andrade is really known for her power, being able to
Mhm.
put women out at the 115 division.
Yeah.
It just shows how much power she has. But dude, she's very savvy, and she's been
Mhm.
doing this for a very long time. And it was a very, very good learning experience for Amanda.
Yeah, I think so. Real quick too, shout out Andrew Toasty. Good morning.
Good morning, Toasty.
Good
Hey, his
luck
fight's
on
coming up here pretty
May
soon, right?
7th. I think it's May 7th.
Ooh, we have
Yeah,
Bruce
good luck.
Bob Trotter joining us as well this morning. What's up, Bruce? How you doing, man? Nice to
Yeah.
see you joining us in the chat. Appreciate it. But yeah, it was an interesting fight, and I think again, it's a hold your horses for Amanda Lemos. Let's see who else we could put her up against. If she just
Yeah.
lost to a Jessica Andrade, then who do you put her up against next? Will?
Yeah, I think while I pull this up, Toasty says yes. May 7th is his next fight.
It's coming up.
Let's see. I think also real quick, I'm pretty sure Andrade, this is the first standing arm triangle in UFC history. I think that's what
In
they're
UFC
saying.
history.
Yeah. It's been cinched up standing before, but then taken down and finished. But I think this is the first time it's been finished on the feet. It was
Yeah, and
nasty.
I think she was close to going out too, man. Because as soon as she let
Yeah.
go, just hear the way that she just dropped,
Yeah.
very much like a Lyoto Machida, but not
Whoa.
completely out.
Yeah. Don't bring that up.
I know that was heartbreaking.
So she was what coming into this 10?
10.
So she welcomes Andrade back to the division. I'd like to see her fight Jandiroba.
Ooh, that's a good one, man. And Jandiroba's game, man. She has all eyes on you everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Brianna Fortino would be a good one too. Shout out Brianna out of
Jessica
Gilroy.
Payne.
Pretty sure Andrew knows Brianna. Everybody in Gilroy knows her. Van Buren, right? It used to be Van Buren. Yeah, I think maybe Pena. Yeah, maybe Pena. You don't do Angela Hill again, I don't think.
Nah.
And she shouldn't go up in the rankings,
Agreed. But either way, now we have Jessica
Toasty.
Andrade that has entered the chat yet again.
Yeah, Toasty goes Jessica Penne.
Yeah, Jessica Payne would be fun too, because she's in the up and up once again.
Yep. Yeah, she's back. She's doing it. But Andrade, in my opinion, Andrade, you go, man, maybe. Oh man, that's tough. Because where do
Right?
you put her? Right? She just beat number 10. Maybe
Mackenzie
against.
Dern?
Oh
Yan
Jesus
Shannon?
Christ! Did you go that high? She just beat 10. Maybe she fights Tisha Torres coming off a
I mean,
loss
Jessica
against
Andrade
Mackenzie
was
Dern.
ranked number 1 in 125.
Yeah, but if I signed on the roster, I would be also.
Dude, come on,
120,
man.
125 is, I mean, there's a reason she moved up to 125, and it's because she gets an immediate title
Fiorot
shot.
would take you out.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Come on.
Alexa Grasso would
knock me out.
box your ass off, dude.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
But in my opinion, ranked number 1 in that division isn't going to do much for me as far as getting back into 115. And
Tisha Torres?
Rose beats her. Joanna's already beat her. Zhang Weili's already beat her. So you can't put her there. I think Tisha Torres, Amanda Ribas.
Yeah.
I think that's where you go. I don't think she should get a top 5 fight right away.
I mean, I like the Amanda Ribas matchup.
Yeah, that's not a bad
right?
one.
Because she just beat 10 in Lemos. So it'd be like stepping up against Amanda Ribas in the rankings.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I think 10 through 5 is where she needs to get her next fight.
Yep. All right.
But
I don't
also,
really have much else on that fight, man. It was pretty quick.
It was pretty quick. And Andrade, I mean, she's still a tank. She's a tank.
Yeah. Powerhouse, dude, at 115.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Andrew comes in and says 125 is shallow as a kiddie pool.
Dang, man. Messed up.
Yeah.
All right. Before that, we had Claudio Puelles versus Clay Guida. Did he cut his hair?
He cut his hair, and as soon as he cut his hair, I saw that he had his hair cut. I was like, God damn it, I should not have picked Clay Guida in this fight. He's like Samson, all the powers in the hair. He cut his hair. I was like, this is not good.
Not good. He still has that fabulous beard.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, and just as expected, right? Clay Guida closes the distance. He immediately
pressures,
grabs a hold of Puelas, goes for his wrestling, takes Puelas down, right? But dude, Puelas is so dangerous, even off his back, right? Mm-hmm. And you could see that Puelas was extremely comfortable.
Oh yeah, extremely comfortable. Goes straight to an armbar, and it was a nasty armbar. Clay Guida did a great job defending it. Steps over, the omoplata is coming, or here's the omoplata, and it's like, all right, if I step over from this armbar, you have to be ready for the omoplata, right? And he did a great job defending against the omoplata too, but it was dicey for a little bit.
Yep,
it
was tight.
And then he got out of the omoplata, and normally, like I said, so when you're in an armbar, you're like, okay, if I get out of this by stepping over, I have to be careful of the omoplata. When you're getting out of the omoplata, you're not thinking, okay, I'm getting out of this omoplata. I need to be worried about the knee bar coming. That's not a chain. That's not a common chain, Yep. But it is for Puelas. Is it Puelas? Is it Puelas or Puelles?
Puelas is the way that they were pronouncing it.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's South America, right?
Probably.
Yes, I know some of the things like that change, but so look at this picture
Peru.
right here.
Yeah.
Peru, okay, and you see, so for anybody that's just listening, it's Clay Guida getting caught in knee bar. And
nasty knee bar.
Your leg's not supposed to bend that way.
No, and you can see Clay Guida's face a little bit, and it doesn't look like he's comfortable.
Oh, it was nasty. And Puelas afterwards, he's like, hey, man, I need to be on the Spanish broadcast. I'm good looking. I speak Spanish. I'm winning in the octagon. And I was like, hey, dude, way to call your shot.
Dude, way to call your shot. This is now 3 knee bars in his UFC career.
5 in a row, right? Not knee bars, but 5 wins in a row.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. I mean, at that point, it's just like, dude, just don't.
Yeah. It is 2 knee bars in a row, though.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row.
Yeah.
He did beat Jourdain Levitt as well, which we just saw recently.
Jourdain Levitt, Chris Grissmacher, and now Clay Guida. Those are Grissmacher, I remember when he kind of burst onto the scene, I was like, this guy's like the new Clay Guida. and then Clay Guida just refused to go away, and he's beaten both of them back to back.
Yeah, man. So hey, shout out to Puelas. Hopefully he gets on that Spanish broadcast. He sounds like
that'd
he's
be
well
great.
spoken.
Yeah, they have Cheeto Vera on it, right?
Yeah.
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 Tough to do both, but
Cheeto Vera, and they have Brandon Moreno.
oh, nice.
They have Brandon Moreno also.
They used to have Verdum, right? Remember that?
Oh, they did. That's right.
And then Verdum was just like, I'm gonna cut all my ties with the UFC. I'm gonna burn all those bridges.
Yeah, dude, just lit that shit on fire. All right.
Yeah.
And I like how Tosi was like, "Can you skip this fight, please?" I'm guessing he's a Clay Guida fan.
Aren't we all, dude?
I know, man. I know.
Yeah. The bend of the knee is so hard to look at. Yeah, it's bad.
It's really bad. It's really bad. There was another shot that I found online, but it wasn't JPEG, and I didn't have enough time to try to convert it or anything like that. But it was like a bird view of the knee bar.
Oh no!
And so you could see the bend so much more, and you could see Clay Guida's face. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Hey, but Clay Guida being Clay Guida just pops right back up, and he's like, "Damn, he got me." You know, just kind of starts walking it off, smile on his face. I was like, "Oh, what a cool guy."
Yeah. And what's weird is, so Tosi just says, I'm a fan of all the old men since I'm old now. And I was just looking at Puelas' Tapology page. Dude is 1 month older than me. So if he's grown up watching fights, he's probably grown up watching Clay Guida and being like, this guy's a fucking savage. And now he's in their knee bar. Like, Jesus Christ, man. What a game.
That is awesome, man.
You
could see him give him a lot of respect afterwards. I wonder what they were saying.
Yeah.
Like, they should do it so that, like, as soon as the fight's over, somebody runs over and just, like, puts a microphone somewhere on him. So we could just hear, like, all the conversations they have afterwards.
Yeah, but then sometimes it's probably don't want that.
Hey, but it's okay. Just put it on Fight Pass.
Just put it on Fight Pass. Yeah, that way nobody sees it.
Exactly.
You want to move on?
That's hilarious. Yeah, let's move on. All right. Maycee Barber versus Montana de la Rosa.
Yeah, this Maycee Barber, I think her biggest criticism normally is she's kind of one of those fighters who will throw a lot of stuff when she's way out of range.
Yes.
And it's kind of frustrating. And then it's like, are you struggling? Are you doing that for volume? Are you doing that to look good for the judges? Or are you just struggling to find range? And then in this one, she was like, why stand and trade at range when I can't find it, when I can just smash you up against the fence and elbow you and hook you like I'm Randy Couture or something, and then proceeded to do that for the entire fight.
You know what? But quite honestly, I was impressed.
Oh.
I was. And you know how I've been very critical of Maycee Barber, because it was always the hat from a distance, like you said. And you're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Now, it was so frustrating. But for her, there was a lot less wasted movement yesterday.
Yeah,
a lot less wasted movement. And yes, it wasn't the most exciting fight, but she knew exactly what she needed to do. She had a game plan, and she executed the game plan. And even when Montana de la Rosa would get the underhooks, and that's pretty much what it was. It was a battle for the underhooks, and whoever got the underhooks got the better positioning and moved the other one up against the cage. But even when Maycee Barber was the one that was pinned up against the cage, she had the ability to create a little bit of distance and still land an elbow or still land a quick hook, and those right back to try to get to the underhooks. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And when I was talking about that, it's not. I wasn't saying that as a knock against her. I was saying that like I'm very impressed with her. Like she adapted her game, and
it sounded like a knock, Will.
I didn't mean it as a knock, Macy.
Macy, if you're listening to this,
yeah, I didn't mean it as a knock. I did mean it as props. I mean, she looked like Randy Couture out there. You know, and that's not a knock at all. You know, I mean, she just. Yeah, an absolute smothering performance. I mean, like I said, her biggest criticism is that she stands at range way too far, and throws from there, and it's just like, what are we doing? But in this one, she threw all that out the window.
Great takedown defense too.
By very good
takedown throughout the entire fight. So it was a good fight to watch. Again, impressed with her improvement fight over fight. She's spending a lot more time in Team Alpha Male now, right? She's fighting out of Sacramento now, is what they're saying. So I'm just excited to see what points. Yeah, especially with this guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just excited to see where this takes her, man, because this was a more high pressure,
Mhm.
gritty, grueling fight.
Yeah.
Almost like a Clay Guida, who's also fighting out of Team Alpha Male.
Mhm.
So we'll see where it goes. I think this is a good move for Maycee Barber.
Yeah, she stays ranked, right, with this. I'm not sure where she goes from here, because when you look above her, it's who is it? Casey O'Neill. Um, who is it? Casey O'Neill, Jessica I, Cynthia Calvillo. I think Calvillo's booked already. Maybe Jessica I.
Yeah,
That's a
that'd
big
be
step
cool.
up as far as experience goes.
Or Cynthia Calvillo.
I think she's booked.
Is she booked already?
I think
Hey,
so.
but man, if you are in the 125 division and you just
Mhm.
see Valentina Shevchenko sitting at the top, if
Yeah,
I'm
you're like,
Maycee
do I really
Barber,
want to get there?
but if I'm Maycee Barber, I'm like, you know what? Let's take our time with this.
Yeah.
Let's let's
Yeah.
don't put me up against number 6 right now. Put me up against a just guy at number 12. Let me move my way up. Let me get some more experience, and hopefully, by the time I get to 2 or 1, Shevchenko's moved on, or she's
Dude,
moved up,
so
or
so that's always been like a theory that I've kind of had, is that people maybe, even if they're not aware of it, maybe they're subconsciously doing that, because anytime there's a dominant champion and then they leave, the division all of a sudden is like amazing. And it goes from, oh man, they cleaned out the division, there's nobody left in that division, flyweights, middleweights when Anderson was at the top, light heavyweight when John Jones was at the top. And then as soon as they leave, you're like, oh shit, this is a banger division. Like, I wish these guys were there to fight the Demetrius or Anderson
yep.
or John Jones, but it's like they weren't there when they were at the top. So I don't know if there is some kind of subconscious thing or if it's just timelines that they just work like that. But every time there's a dominant champ that leaves, it becomes chaos and the division lights on fire. Um, Maybe it's just because they're like, oh, now's my opportunity. Let's push for it. I mean, but it seems like that happens,
Yep. Yep.
you know?
Is she the most dominant champ right now? She's got to be. Would you consider her to
Valentina?
be? Yeah.
Yeah, Amanda lost. Izzy, it's either her, Izzy, or Usman, right? That's got to be.
Yeah.
Um, and you could argue Volkanovski too, but it's tough to argue
Oh,
that
that's
when
true.
the Max fights are so close. Whereas
So close.
like the Izzy fights aren't close, Valentina fights aren't close, Usman fights haven't been that close. She's up
Yeah.
there though.
And the thing with Usman though is, like, I take a look at the welterweight division, right? And I'll see like Leon Edwards, and I'm like, hey, I could see something happening there.
Yeah,
You take a look at Hamza, and we're like, hey, we don't know what we have there yet. I don't give a shit who I look at the 125 division.
yeah,
I'm like,
true.
dude, that's Valentina Shevchenko all
Yeah.
the way through and through.
I think based off that metric, it's got to be either her or Izzy, right? Because Izzy's kind of the same thing at middleweight. I just don't see.
I
He's already
think the
beaten
next
Rob
time
twice.
Valentina Shevchenko is up to fight and defending her title, it needs to be
Mhm.
Alexa Grasso and Manon Fiorot versus Valentina
Yeah,
Shevchenko 2-on-1 to see what
2
happens.
on 1. Yeah,
And even
I mean,
then,
honestly, the Talia Santos fight is going to be fun. People are knocking that fight. Maybe they just don't know who she is, but dude, that's a fun fight.
that is a fun fight.
I don't think she wins, but I do think it's better than she has better chances than Lauren Murphy did, better
Yeah,
chances than Chikagian did. Like, you know what I mean?
100% for sure.
She's
All right.
she's the best shot.
Before that, we had Charles Jourdain versus Lando Vannata.
Versus Lando Vannata.
Yeah, I had picked Vannata going into this one.
I saw that, and I almost, in the first 30 seconds, I wished that I did because I
Yeah,
picked Jourdain, and it looked like, okay, Vannata's going down a weight class, and he started heavy with the wrestling, and I was like, oh, what if Lando's getting that fight IQ back, and he's going to grind this dude out because he's bigger, right? I was like, shit, I should have picked Lando, but then Jourdain
but
got
then,
that. And then he started lighting him up.
dude, Jourdain, and he's just so creative with the striking. His jab is so solid. his hands are so fast, man. And like he says, people forget I'm a black belt, and I did.
Yeah, and I did.
He's talking about me.
Yeah.
But that left,
when he's
the
doing
left
the kick, this one.
Oh my God! Right on the button too,
Mm-hmm.
and sat Vannata right on his ass.
Yeah.
And right away it was a single arm guillotine,
One arm guillotine. Yeah.
one arm guillotine, and
Yeah.
right away
Very
it looked
tricky.
tight. But he kept that one arm guillotine in with his left, and with his right held on to Vannata's left arm so that it'd be harder for him to fight the hands as he's still squeezing harder and harder. I was like, oh man, it was just.
He had like the bicep control, right?
Yep.
He was trying to push on his bicep. Dude, so slick. And at first I was like, well, he's not going to get this guillotine. But then I saw that right arm as he was pushing him away. And I was like, whoa, he might actually get this. And then he just straight, we don't have a picture of it, probably out of respect. But, I mean, dude pantsed him and then choked him out on live TV.
Rough, dude.
It was rough.
Now,
like, you want to come into my division?
I feel like Jourdain
choked him out. Jesus.
Jourdain has been very active, right? Fun.
He has, dude.
December, and then again in April. But I feel like he's starting to come out of his shell, and he's starting to be what everybody expected Jourdain to be since the beginning.
Yeah, because he comes onto the scene, and who's his debut? Des Green loses his debut. I don't care if you lose your debut; it doesn't mean shit to me. Then he comes in, he knocks out Doohoo Choi, and we're like, "Ooh, we got someone here."
Yep.
He loses to Andre Fili.
Superboy Choi.
Yeah, loses to Andre Fili, but it's a close one. Has the split decision draw, and we're like, "What's going on with this guy?" Right? And then he fights Pitbull Rojo, and it's a barn burner, and it's Rojo's debut. Beats him, and we're like, "Damn, Jourdain is tough. Hopefully he can put it together." That's where I started being like, "Hopefully this dude can put it together." Then he loses to a Rosa, and I was like, "Damn, dude!" Like, but he looked really good up until he did get darsed by a Rosa. It's like, man, hopefully he puts it together. And then he has a flawless performance against Andre Ewell that like everybody hopes to have one of those performances where everything you throw, you're landing. He's seeing everything coming. He's slipping everything. He lands that Spartan kick and launches him like 6 feet back onto his ass. And then we're like, damn, he might be coming into his own. This was, for me, the test to see if Jourdain is putting it all together. And I think he is, dude, because he looked really good in this one.
Yes, he did. He did. And against a very, very tough opponent. I think Jourdain said that he considers this to be the toughest opponent that he's faced so far.
Yeah, and it's a tough list.
For sure, man, for sure. And then Andrew Toasty calling out the fact that Lando looked like a skeleton at weigh-ins, which he did.
Yeah,
it looks like
he should not be at this weight class.
A tough weight cut, yeah. But the thing is, he's one of those tweeners, right?
Yeah.
He really is, where he might be a little too big for the 145 division, but a little too small
for some of the bigger lightweights.
Yeah. So, I mean, what do you do if you're Vannata? You got to give it a shot. You got to give it a try.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, he got cracked in this one, but it didn't get knocked out, so it's not like the weight cut affected his chin, in my opinion. And he did look good with the grappling. He just got caught. Simple as that. He got caught because the first takedown he landed
at 145. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah, because the first takedown he landed, I was like, oh man, this is going to be a tough night for Jourdain if Vannata's really pressuring with the wrestling, and then he got choked out. But you could see there is some promise there. You know what I mean? There's potential there, I think.
For sure. Okay.
But Jourdain, if I'm Jourdain now, like you said, he's staying active. He's had some fights canceled, but from what I remember, it's not because of him.
Topuria, right?
Topuria, he had
a good one too.
Would have been a great one. That would have been a coming out party, right? There was a lot of eyes on Topuria coming off the knockout on Ryan Hall, the altercation with Patty Pimblett. A lot of eyes on that fight if Jourdain could have secured it, but Topuria had to pull out, right? Or did Jourdain? Yeah, Topuria pulled out?
I don't remember. I just know it didn't happen.
No, Topuria didn't pull out. I think Jourdain couldn't make it because Topuria fought. But if I'm Jourdain, I'm trying to get like either that Topuria fight, Shane Burgos.
It says Topuria weight cut issues. Reason.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I'm trying to get Shane Burgos or Edson. I think he called out Edson Barbosa. Called out Edson Barbosa and said that he promises no takedowns. Either I die or you die. It's like,
Oh,
fuck.
Jesus. Oh, God.
Yes.
Sign him up. Sign him up as quickly as possible. All right.
Yeah. I think
Anything
that's
else on
what you
that
do,
fight?
right? No, but it was very interesting, and I feel for Vannata.
We continue seeing the rise of Charles Jourdain. Air Jourdain, by the way, that's an awesome nickname, you know?
Yeah, it's a good one.
All right, before that we had Mark, how do you pronounce it? Is it Barriol versus Jordan Wright?
Barriol?
You're like, sure.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah. I think it's Barriol.
Barriol? Yeah, Barriol sounds right. Versus Jordan Wright.
Marc-Andre Barriol? I don't know. But yeah, this is Jordan Wright. You know, every time he gets booked, it's going to be a fun fight. Win or lose, it's going to be a fun fight because his offense is very good. He has very good offense.
It is.
But the problem is his defense. But you know what that leads to? Very fun fights.
Yes.
You know,
I mean, this is another one of those where it was pretty quick, right?
Mm-hmm.
And another case of a fighter just getting caught, and you see it happen over and over again, where either through a grappling exchange or somebody going down for a takedown, and they just leave their neck wide open for a guillotine, and Mark just cinched it in, man. And you talk about the neck. You always say like, "Hey, I look for the hairline."
Yeah.
On the bottom of their, or on the top of their neck, and depending on how much hairline you see, dude, that neck was so stretched out. So stretched out.
Yeah,
I mean, take a look at that right there.
Yeah.
That looked just as bad as when God, who was that got knocked out by Ngannou, where his neck looked like it stretched out.
Overeem?
Yes, Overeem.
Uppercut. And speaking of uppercuts, dude, when they clinched up, they got that single collar tie. Marc-Andre would bury his head in his chest and then just slip it out of the way and land the uppercut and then back to burying. And you could see Jordan Wright's like, God damn, like what? And then he was trying to get like his head position to he was trying to fight for head position, but no matter where he put his head, Marc-Andre would slip and then just find that uppercut. And it was just like, oh my God, dude. Nasty. Those single collar tie uppercuts are so fun, dude. The dirty boxing. Yeah.
But yeah, not much on this fight either.
No, it was like I said, a lot of good offense from Jordan Wright, but the defense just isn't quite there, and that leads to very fun fights. Unfortunately, this time it was the defense that got him.
Where does Jordan Wright fight out of?
He's like a karate guy, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he's at like one of the main
Dynamics MMA.
There you go.
In LA. Okay. Well, maybe they listen to this podcast and they're like, you know what? Let's work on his defense.
Yeah. Vladimir Maycee is one of his coaches. That's cool.
Cool. All right. Before that, we had Dwight Grant versus Sergey Kondoshko.
Yeah. Dude.
What a fun fight. Holy crap.
This one. So before I was like, all right, fight of the night is going to be Manel Kape versus Sumadarji. That doesn't happen. And then I was like, all right, fight of the night for sure is going to be this one. Because kind of same thing. Dwight Grant's offense, very good. Defense, a little to be desired from, right? Like he's had a lot of fights where he hurt someone bad and then ends up getting hurt himself. But that leads to very fun fights. And Sergey is a very good striker. So I was like, dude, this is a killer be killed fight. This is going to be fantastic. And it was so sick. It was so sick.
There's so many times though where they talked about Grant's frame, where it's a small torso, very long arms, very long legs, perfect for fighting because it's very hard to hit his body. And you see Grant knows how to be able to lunge in with a big left hook.
Yeah.
And, even Dwight Grant or Kondoshko, when he thought like, hey, I'm out of range right now, not so much. You're still getting clipped.
Yeah, you're still getting clipped, dude. That left hook could not miss.
Kondoshko, when he'd get clipped, would bite down and throw a 3 or 4 hook combo, and then Grant bites down and throws his own combo. That's like, who's going to get hit who harder?
Yeah, yeah.
It was just one of those where on one of those exchanges, Kondoshko just did a little bit of a better job of getting out of the center line and coming up with that big left hook that landed right on. There it is. That landed right on Grant. That rocked him. That rocked him.
Yeah.
And then that follow-up shot.
Toasty, we will talk about the Manel Cap fight. Probably a moment of silence after we recap the card. But yeah, so it's the first round, Sergey drops him, right? Kind of a flash knockdown. They keep trading. Pure stand-up fight, right? They're just trading. Dwight Grant ends up dropping him, trading knockdowns in the first round. And that one was a little bit heavier, right, than the first knockdown. And Grant drops him, and he jumps in. He's trying to finish it, but Sergey did a great job of just like squeezing him close and just being like, not right now. I'm not going to be in a position where I'm going to eat some more follow-up shots and give the ref an opportunity to stop this. Fought through it very well. Second round starts. Same thing. They're trading. Eventually, Sergey drops him again, and it was the exact opposite. Dwight Grant tried to get back up. And you probably don't want to get back up. You probably want to grab and recover, right? But I think that kind of just goes back to whatever your like base is, right?
Yep.
Because at that point, you're just pure instincts. And it's like, well, if I get back up, that's where I'm comfortable. But you're probably not even thinking that, right? It's just happening.
Autopilot.
But man, he got back up and just clocked him again.
With that right, and then clocked him again when he fell on all fours. Yeah. And, man, I felt kind of bad for Grant when that happened. But
me too, man. Because it's like Michael Johnson, man. It's like, how many times has he hurt somebody and then ends up getting finished himself? Who was it? D-Rod?
Let me see here.
Did he fight D-Rod?
Yeah, right here. Lost to punches.
Yeah, and he hurt him first.
Yeah, I remember.
He hurt him, and then D-Rod came back and was like, not taking me out, and then finished him.
Not today.
Yeah. It's tough, man. He's very skillful.
So he lost to Kondoshko, lost to Francisco Trinaldo by split decision. That was a close one. And he lost to D-Rod. Those were his last three losses.
Yeah. No slouches, right? Like, he's a very tough guy, and he gets tough opponents. And Sergey, not a lot of eyes on him yet, I don't think, but the dude is legit. He's for sure legit. And it's tough, man, because Dwight Grant's 37.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem
not
like
a spring
it.
Chicken.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it, but yeah.
All right.
And Sergey, I think Sergey has a pretty bright future, man.
Yeah, especially if he has performances like the ones that he did last night. Because, again, he has some crisp boxing. He has some wrestling.
Yeah.
And he's an exciting fighter.
Yeah, and not just that. This is him coming back from 3 years off,
Yeah.
So the fact that he got a win like this, I mean, you get tested 3 years off,
tested,
you get tested like that. And then, I mean, that's hard to overcome, after 3 years being out of there.
For sure.
Maybe for some, maybe for others, it's even better, right? Because you're like, I'm not fucking losing this. After 3 years, I'm not fucking giving up right here. I'm pushing through this.
Yeah, but at the same time, you have Grant on the other end, like, I'm not fucking losing this, dude. I've lost too many close ones where I have the other person hurt or is a close decision. And then here we are.
Yeah, and then here we are.
All right. Before that, we had Tyson Pedro versus Ike Villanueva. Tyson Pedro
talk
had
about
a little bit of a
off,
layoff too. Yeah. Yeah. How long was it since we had seen Tyson Pedro?
I think it was 4 years, dude.
Oh, 2018?
Yeah, I think so.
He lost to Shogun.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, look at who he was fighting. Alvin St. Preux and Shogun were his last two fights. Tough. But he comes in versus Ike Villanueva. And, bust out the glove, the Shogun glove. There it is.
Shogun, the pride glove.
The pride glove. And I think this was a perfect opponent for Tyson Pedro to come back against.
Yeah, it's kind of like if I'm Ike, I'm like, the fuck UFC. It's like, my biggest weakness and his biggest strength, and it's so obvious that this is like hey Tyson, we need you in this light heavyweight division, man. Thank you for coming back. We got you. Yeah.
This is a third straight loss for Ike Villanueva.
And all tough fights, man. Grueling fights, dude. That Marcin Prachnio fight was crazy.
Yep. Loses to body kick.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been stopped, right? His last three fights.
Yeah.
But hey,
I mean, his last 5 losses were all stoppages.
Ouch.
Yeah.
He's game though, man. That's part of the thing.
Dude,
like
he is game.
he goes in there and he's willing to trade.
Mhm.
But he seemed a little hesitant at first. At least Tyson Pedro did. Tyson Pedro seemed a little hesitant at first coming in,
4 years
and
off.
rightfully so. 4 years off, exactly. And I know he's been spending
And-
time in the gym, but it's a little different.
Yeah, and we're saying like this is a good matchup for him and stuff. Ike Villanueva still has hands.
100%.
So you go in there, you're rushing there, and you've been out for 4 years. That's a guy that can catch you with his hands for sure. Like he cracks. He's got good hands.
But I
Unfortunately,
meant
that's all
like
he's
a good
got.
matchup in the sense
No,
that
yeah.
it's another striker coming in who's going to be willing to trade. Doesn't have as many tools in his tool belt as a Tyson Pedro would. So this is them dipping Tyson Pedro's toes back in the water there before they throw him in.
Yeah, and then he dug his toes into Villanueva's knee. Like,
Ooh,
dude.
I mean, the way it bent.
That's how you fight him. That's how you have to fight him. Like anybody who's watched him. That's why DC, the first minute of the fight, he's like, I'm surprised Tyson Pedro's not throwing more leg kicks. Like Ike does not check them. And like that's his big he keeps his legs like his footwork is very boxing oriented, which is like not good for leg kicks. And I mean, it's been the story of his recent career is people can beat him up with the leg kicks. And as soon as he threw like the third or second one, it was like, oh no, this is bad.
The second one, I think, is the one that landed on the calf, where Ike started to wince.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like he was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
His demeanor changed. It took him completely out of the fight.
It's like when that time when as kids you see just that they want to start calling a timeout because they got hurt.
Yeah,
and that was one of those moments. But then when he caught him with that last leg kick, which is right there, and it's right when Ike had planted to step into the jab, to throw a jab, and at that perfect moment, kicks him right by the knee, and you just see that leg buckle. Ugh.
Dude, he drops down, and then Tyson Pedro walks up to him and throws the gnarliest 2 uppercuts that completely flatline him. It was like he got dropped with a leg kick. Probably Mark Smith probably could have called it there with a leg kick KO, but wasn't there quick enough maybe, and ended up getting like a full-on knockout. That was nasty. Those follow-up shots were brutal, dude. Because he's just sitting there against the cage and just eats 2 massive uppercuts.
Ike might be the next UFC release.
I would not be surprised. I like the guy. He was part of a very fun to watch fight.
I think he's 18-14 now.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
18-14, yeah. So
that's
all
really
right.
tough.
Hey, but it's nice to see Pedro back. It's nice to see him back, man.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see him back. I don't know if you give him someone in the top 15.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, do you just throw him right into top 15?
I would not be mad at watching him fight Dustin Jacoby at 15.
Yep.
That's a very fun matchup.
Even at Johnny Walker.
Yeah,
we need to
Johnny
see
Walker?
what to do with Johnny Walker. Do we keep him in the top 15? Do we not? He's 12 right now. He's still ranked. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if we throw him in there against a Tyson Pedro, who's a very strong prospect, you get to see, what you have in Tyson Pedro. Is he ready for this? And at the exact same time, do we move on from Johnny Walker?
Damn, dude, that's crazy that he's still in the top 15. And it is what it is. But
do you remember his ascension? That was fun.
It was very fun.
It was a blast.
And he was crazy. He was just like
at some point
out dancing and shit, and you're just like, who is this guy?
Yeah, but at some point people were like,
murdering people.
Is he ready for John Jones? You know what I mean? Because he was like just boom, boom. Everybody was fighting these quick knockouts, and everybody's like, "Well, I think we found John Jones' match." It's similar build.
I remember that, yeah.
And now we're just like, "Oh, should he be in the top 15?"
Fucking hell, man! It happens like that.
Just like that, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
damn.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Kavanaugh. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and move on. What do we have next? Is it Arichi Lang versus?
Yeah,
Else?
we're gonna go to Arichi Lang. Yeah.
So we have Arichi Lang versus Cameron Else. The thing that Arichi Lang's power is nuts, man. At 135 to have that power, but dude, the way that he mixes
his handiwork,
man, from the body, those uppercuts, right? And then back down to those liver shots.
Dude, that body shot that he landed, he just snuck it right in because he throws wide, and you're like, oh, let me block my head on this one, and then he just tweaks it. He like cuts the angle mid punch, and it's like, God damn, that was slick. That was so slick.
Richie Lang, somebody I really enjoy watching fight though, and again at 135, I think he can make some noise.
Dude, I think so too, and it is a stacked division. It is a very stacked division, but I mean he just blew through the gates in this one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Feel bad for Cameron Else because I mean he just got worked. When he flattened him out, that's nasty. There's a couple times they probably could have stopped this, but Richie Lang just would like, as soon as it was like, oh, maybe stop it, he would readjust, and it was like, ooh,
And people might be like, dude, why are they talking so highly of this guy? It's his first win in the UFC. But the thing is that he has displayed some good striking. He's shown his potential. When he faced Cody Durden, Jeff Molina, like you could see like this guy's gonna be something special.
Yeah, I fucking hated that Cody Durden fight.
Yeah,
it was so frustrating to watch.
It was. But again, in this fight against Cameron Else, he showed, okay, this is why people are so high on me, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, but the problem is, it's like kind of like out of the frying pan into the fire. You leave 125, and then it's like, man, 125, it's just not for me, size, right? And it's a killer's division right now, especially the top 15. And then you jump over to bantamweight now, and it's like, holy shit, this is stacked also. Because, like, I mean, you look at, 15 through 10 is crazy.
It is, man. It is. I mean,
that's tough to crack, man.
Marlon Moraes is probably going to be falling off of there, right?
Yeah, he retired, so he's gone.
Yeah, you have Sean O'Malley at 13, Ricky Simon there at 12,
Ricky
Simone, dude, Simon, bro,
Simone,
Frankie Edgar. I mean, he's probably gonna be falling off here pretty soon too. But dude, it's murderer's row.
Yeah, it's gnarly. It's super gnarly. And then as you start getting to the top, you're just like, do we even want to get there? Like, dude, it's fucking crazy. Song Yadong, Marlon Vera. He's fighting Rob Font, Merab Dvalishvili, Dominic Cruz, Sandhagen's a murderer. Jose Aldo, Dillashaw, Piotr Jan, Sterling. Like
Toasty says, unlike 125, women's 125 not shallow.
Yeah, not shallow. I mean, it's not, man. It's 135 is, and it has been for a long time, right? It's always been one of the most fun divisions. Even back when it was WEC, it was like, I remember when the UFC got like absorbed all that, I was like, oh, here we go. Because like 135, 145 in WEC was fucking crazy, man.
For sure.
Wild fights. And then, I mean, still to this day, like it's never been boring. It's never been bad. Even when it was like Dominic Cruz was like the dominant champ, it was still like interesting matchups for him.
Yep.
There's no shortage.
All right, so hopefully we get a Richie Lang back in there soon. We're going to skip a couple fights. We're going to skip the Parsons versus Elder, Linz versus Prochnio. We'll go into the Mike Jackson versus Dean Barry.
Yeah, the one that everyone's here for.
Yeah. So Mike Jackson goes into this 0-1 in one no contest, right?
Yeah, I mean, what a career.
So the weigh-in right here where you see
wait, real quick before you do that, the reason his record is the funniest record in the UFC probably, right? I mean, it's not just 0-1-1 because he loses to Mickey Gall in his first UFC fight. And I'm like, okay, I mean, Mickey Gall is someone, right?
Yeah.
And then he goes to XKO, loses the fight, comes back to fight CM Punk. And it's like, what are we doing here? He wins the fight, but it was like the way he won that fight, it was so frustrating. I was so angry. And like he pretty much turned the entire MMA community against him because he was kind of playing with him a little bit. He could have finished it way earlier. He started doing some weird shit in the cage. It's like, dude, you're fighting like a 40-year-old wrestler. Like, just fucking finish it, right?
Yep.
He doesn't, and then he gets it overturned because he fails the drug test. I mean, I was surprised that he even got another fight, to be honest.
Me too.
I mean, just wild.
Hey, shout out XKO, by the way. That's the local organization over here. So
yeah.
Shout out
Yeah.
to them. But yeah, I mean, it's just what a shit show, huh?
What a shit show, dude. The fight starts. Dean Barry's full on Wonder Boy style, right? Side stance, trying to throw side kicks, hook kicks, all that kind of stuff. Hits him low, gets warned, and then like 30 seconds later, throws a hook kick to the body and just goes straight to the cup. It was a gnarly one.
Yeah, that was bad.
Mike Jackson goes down, and he's down for a while. They got the camera just literally like right over his face as he's like grimacing on the ground, and it's like, what are we doing here, man? Get the camera out of his fucking face, like the dude's in pain right now.
Oh shit!
And then he takes like 2.5 minutes on it, to the point where the commentary team's like, listen, like if he's talking this much to the ref, like he's probably fine to fight. Like he can probably get back in there. But even before that, like in the stand up, he was doing a decent job shoulder rolling for a bit, right?
Let's be real here, though. It would have just a matter of time.
Yeah, he was shoulder rolling pretty well until Dean Barry realized that's all he's doing, and then starts cracking him.
Yeah,
I mean, he hurt him bad. He hurt him pretty bad. He dropped him, right? Am I remembering that wrong?
I don't remember.
I feel like he dropped him once. Yes, he did not. He did drop him. And then they clinch up. They're getting mixed up on the cage and stuff. And then Dean Barry's trying to push his face away, and does maybe one of the worst eye pokes I've ever seen.
Yeah, he dug that in there.
Yeah, you didn't add a picture, but I did.
Oh,
so graphic content warning, because it's a bad eye poke. And here we go.
Oh my god, dude, that's not an eye poke.
That's like a fish
eye
hook.
Gouging.
Yeah, and it wasn't just in motion. It's even worse because it doesn't just go in and then back out. It goes across.
Pull him.
I mean, he must have. When you fish hook, right? Like,
yeah.
He must have like hooked that eye socket. There's no way he didn't like hook it a little
disgusting.
Bit. It was bad. It was really bad. And we'll change the picture, but they ended up calling it right. And Mike Jackson continues to have the funniest record in the UFC.
Yeah, I mean, keep it alive,
Keep it alive. Just weird, like what? He gets choked out by Mickey Gall in his debut. His professional debut is in the UFC. He gets choked out by Mickey Gall. He has some weird performance against.
It's smart by the UFC because Mickey Gall's, debut in the UFC was against a CM Punk, which they knew,
it's not
nowhere near UFC quality. So before we give Mickey Gall anybody else that's tougher, here's a Mike Jackson.
How weird is it that they ended up doing Jackson versus CM Punk after that? I don't remember what the I'm sure at the time it made sense or there was reasons for it. I don't remember what they were, but I mean, that was 4 years ago.
Seems like forever.
Yeah, a lifetime, But I mean, does he get another one? I mean, like Toasty said, literally proves you can't believe anything Dana White says. He said that Jackson would not get another fight in the UFC and he should go back to photography. How in the world did they book this? Yeah. I mean, because he was a journalist, right? He was an MMA journalist, and then he's like, I'll get in there.
Dude, what do we see? What's his name? John? Get in there next?
John?
Is it MMA Junkie, the guy that's always like the first one to ask questions?
Oh, John Morgan?
Yeah, John Morgan.
Or what?
It's just John Morgan. All of a sudden, it's like, I want to give this a shot.
Yeah.
Hey, Dana.
I don't think that'd go very well. Get Ariel in there, man. Come on.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Ariel versus the Schmo? Let's do it.
I will put him in there, dude. Put him in there. All right. But yeah, that was it, man. That was the first fight of the night. Very weird way to start off the night. I think it kind of set you up for an interesting night.
Yeah, I mean, last week there was a bunch of a bunch of canceled bouts or like disqualifications and stuff like that, and all that. And I was like, man, are we starting this again? Like, is this going to continue into this week? It didn't, though.
Didn't. Moment of silence, Will?
Yeah, moment of silence. This was one that, we lost some good ones.
Dang. R.I.P.
Yeah. A big one was Jourdain Wright versus Roman Kopylov. Kopylov, I'm high on, and I wanted to see him. Jourdain Wright ends up taking the short notice fight, gets choked out. That's always a bummer, right? When someone takes a new fight and then ends up losing.
Yep.
Damir Hadzovic versus Steve Garcia would have been very cool. Hadzovic had visa issues. He couldn't make it. Would have been good. Tanner Bozer was supposed to fight Rodrigo Nascimento.
Rodrigo.
Yeah, there you go. Rodrigo. And Rodrigo pulls out. So they throw in Romanov, and we're like, oh, shit, this is a crazy fight. Bozer versus Romanov is nasty.
and
then Bozer's like, actually, I was prepared for I got injured. It's the first time. He had to tell everybody, it's the first time I've ever had an injury bad enough to where I had to pull out. And it's like, all right, we get it, dude. I wouldn't want to fight Romanov either. And then Chase Sherman's like, I just got cut last week. I'll take that fight. And the UFC's like, bam, cool. You get a 4-fight contract. You get a pay raise. And we do not care what happens as a result in this fight. It won't affect your contract whatsoever. And he's like, deal, let's do it. And then backs out like the day before. Day of. Yeah. So we lost Romanov. Would have been very cool to see him fight again because he's very
frustrated
exciting.
Are you if you're Romanov?
Hey, better get ready. That's going to keep happening.
Yep. And then Chase Sherman.
Yeah.
Bro.
Man. I mean, we saw him fight live. Remember that? Against
over here.
The Daywalker. Rashad Coulter?
Yes.
It was a crazy fight.
Yes.
Wow, he's been in some crazy ones, man. He's been cut from the UFC 3 times now. It's keeps coming back. Yeah.
That's crazy.
But the big one, the biggest one, the moment of silence. Sumadarji versus Manel Cap. God damn it, man. God damn it. How many setbacks? I'm telling you this guy can be the champ. I'm telling you he could be the champ. But he just has to fucking get in there. Stop getting fucked by athletic commissions. This is now twice that he's been fucked by athletic commissions. And I'm over it. At this point, if I'm Manel Cap, I'm like... Yeah, and if at this point, if I'm Cap, I'm like, fuck this. I'm going back to Ryzen. I'm getting my sponsors back. I'm getting the belt back. I'm fighting in Ryzen. Fuck the United States Athletic Commissions. They're bullshit. I'm done with them. He gets robbed in a fight, and then this bullshit? Like, what the hell, man?
I mean, tested positive for Trendable, right?
All right, hear me out, though.
All right.
And there is bias here.
Okay.
There is bias here. Manel Cap, test positive for Trendable.
Yeah.
M3 metabolites. 5 times lower than when John Jones pulsed for it. And remember when they were like, it's 1 picogram. It's like a Olympic-sized swimming pool. He was 5 times lower than that. And the reason, so Nevada Athletic Commission pulled him from this. USADA is still saying it's negligible and it's so small that this could be from 5 years ago and there's no way of knowing. And if he took this recently, it would be much higher. So they're saying this has to be from before he was even under the unified rules or the Nevada Athletic Commissions. This could not be from when he was in the UFC. So he technically never broke any UFC rules.
That's when he was all juicing Ryzen?
For sure. For sure it is. It's got to be. I mean, when you're 5 times lower than even John Jones was for the pulse, not the first time John's tested positive. Remember when John tested positive the first time and they were like, he took some shit. And then he pulsed for it later on. He was most likely, allegedly, if you believe USADA, pulsing from that. Because if you take Turinabol, it's like, and you're going to test positive and they're going to know, I mean, this was recently done, because they're constantly testing you. He's being tested by USADA this whole time. And they're like, no, he's good. The only reason we even know that he tested positive for Turinabol is because he went to social media and said, this is bullshit. There's no way I took this, all this stuff, right? And then he deleted it because probably his manager was like, hey, man, they weren't going to come public with that because the UFC's official statement on it was this fight is removed for personal reasons. They weren't even going to tell anybody because even the UFC knows this is bullshit.
Mm.
If I'm Manel Cap, I'm going back to Ryzen. I'm getting my belt back. I'm getting back to sponsors.
So what's next, though? Is he just suspended?
I don't think he's actually even been suspended yet.
It's just the athletic commission saying, hey, we have to look into this more.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, God.
Dude,
Nevada State Athletic Commission is the fucking worst.
Dude, and the worst part is he spoke about it. Because if he didn't speak about it, we probably would never even hear about it. And now forever, his whole career, people are going to be like, oh, that's the guy that took steroids. Yeah. Breaks my heart.
Maybe he just says, hey, UFC, I stay in here on the condition that I never fight in Nevada.
Yeah.
Because they have the worst athletic commission. Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's just fucking horseshit, dude.
Yeah.
is horseshit.
Well, hey, the good
Get him
thing
back
though
to the
is
gym.
that UFC starting to make its way out to different, states for the fight nights.
True. Very big
So he still
news.
has an opportunity to go through and
Yeah. The
fight
problem
in
is
other
though,
states.
most athletic commissions will see that there's an issue going on with Nevada, and they won't license you. They
Oh,
won't
really?
they won't go against another athletic commission. But hopefully this just gets cleared up because like it seems pretty cut and dry. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like
Hopefully.
clearly I'm biased about it, but like it's still such a bummer. Jesus Christ.
All right.
Uh,
Let's see. Fight of the night bonuses.
oh yeah, bonuses. Let's see. We got Andraj got a bonus for that first in UFC history standing arm triangle.
Nice. Well deserved.
Puelas got one for the knee bar, back to
Well
back knee
deserved.
bars for him. And fight of the night was Dwight Grant versus Sergey.
I mean, how can that not be fight of the night?
Yeah, yeah. The only thing that I could argue with is maybe do a fourth bonus and get Jourdain one. I feel like that was a bonus worthy performance.
That was pretty good too. That's a good call. Yeah.
One arm guillotine, man. That's nasty.
All right. Let me see here. Next week we have UFC Fight Night. Rob Font versus Marlon Chito Vera.
Yeah, and it's a good one.
Yeah.
That fight, by the way, is very good. That
It
is
is.
a very good
I'm
fight.
very excited for that fight. We also have Andre
Wait, real
Arlovski in
quick.
there.
Tosi, because Tosi's Portuguese, so he's all into Manel Cap too. I didn't realize he was commenting this when we were talking about it. Heated. Straight heated. Fuck the government.
Jeez, hey man, this guy's going all rogue on us right away. That's so funny. All over Manel Cop. All right, but yeah, next week Andre Arlovski's back in there. Ooh,
Jake Collier.
Darren the Damage Elkins is going to be in there as well.
Always fun
Gerald
to watch.
Mearshart versus Jocko. That should be fun.
It's either going to be a fun Mearshart fight or it's going to be a boring Jocko fight.
Yep.
It's one of the two.
Let me see here. We have
shout out
Gordon,
Jocko.
Jared
That was the guy
Dawson.
that he was fighting David Branch when Tony fell asleep in the arena. That's how bad the fight was.
Hey, that was due to both of them.
Yeah, true.
And Jocko for sure. We have Andre Touchy Feely's back in there as well.
Hell yeah. I thought he retired. Didn't he say he was going to retire?
No.
I thought he said he was done with his shit because he was pissed off about like all the judges. I was just over it.
Yeah, I don't think he retired though. I think he's just saying that everything's bullshit. Francisco Figueiredo,
yeah,
is in there.
His little brother.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be another fun. Oh, Chase Sherman's back in there. They moved
Chase Sherman versus. Did they move it actually?
Yeah, Alexander Romanov.
Yeah,
the sacrificial lamb, Chase Sherman.
Yeah, I wonder what happened. Did they ever said what happened with that fight at the end of the day? Right?
They just said it was an illness. Chase Sherman had an illness.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's it, man. Looking forward to next week. Should be a good card. I think that next week's card is definitely gonna be a little more exciting than this week's card. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right.
Again, thank you, Toasty, for hanging out the whole time.
Yeah, and
it's always fun
to,
when people stay on.
Bruce Bobtrotter for coming on as well. Really appreciate that. And if you like our content, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, or follow us on Spotify, Breaker Podcast, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. Pretty much anywhere podcasts are found, and the social medias as well.
Yep, at Story of the Fight on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, Facebook. There's a group chat. I think we're at when we started this, we're at 352 subscribers on YouTube. So we're trying to get to 400. That'd be sick. So tell your friends, tell your families.
Tell your friends. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to another week. A Story of the Fight.